Well, hello YouTube world, it's been a while. We don't make the videos like we used to, but we're trying to. I got Squints on the camera as always. Say hello, Squints.
Hi.
So we got a lot going on between work, hockey, other sports, stuff like that. But we are going to dig into this today and possibly reveal some secrets that a certain somebody that watches the videos might be intrigued about. Who could that be?
I don't know. I don't know.
Alright, so we got the intake heads, all the valve train, all that off. Anyone that's wondering if you know the numbers of a block, that's a typical like late 70s 350 2 or 4 bolt. Could be either or. Easiest way to tell also is you notice there are 2 freeze out plugs, one there and one there. If there was one right there, that could be a 400 block. So there's a lot of differences between the 400 block and then the 350, 327s. Well, that's normal. They all have the 2 in the front right here. But you can see this motor's been together for a long time, and you can see how kind of gross a lot of this stuff is. So that's why we're pulling it apart. Downfall is, I just realized in order to get to the bolt that's in there, That's a 12 point. That's a 12 point. And I went over here to my 12 point sockets. And I'm looking at myself, I'm saying, okay, I got this one, I got this one, I got this one, and I don't have that one. Well, guess what? That's the one I need. So I got to go find a socket. Because I don't know where it is. So stay tuned. So my trusty sidekick, as Carrie Fisher calls him. This is the motor. So this is the motor that we're taking it apart so we can show Carrie all my secrets.
Holy cow, Batman.
Oh my God, don't show him what's inside though.
It's Batman.
So Al went and actually grabbed, on his way here, some 12 point sockets, so we were able to take the front balancer off. Unfortunately,
I think it's that
it
thing.
doesn't have the sizes I need for the oil pan bolts, which are, everything on this motor is 12 point socket. I hate it.
Even the oil pan bolts.
Yeah, so I'm doing them by hand. I hate, if anybody's listening or watching, don't ever build a motor with 12 point socket, 12 point bolts, all right? Just use regular bolts, a regular bolt kit. None of this 12 point bolt BS. I hate it. No reason.
And when you tighten the bolts, what are you supposed to do?
What is your famous video?
Don't forget to torque your bolts.
Don't forget to torque your bolts.
And of course, we went yesterday to Harbor Freight and we picked up some nice ratcheting combo wrench set because I didn't have any good.
Baby, top of the line.
I didn't have any good ratcheting wrenches here. We grabbed these. We grabbed some metric ones. Oh yeah. Grab some swivel sockets. Oh yeah. So we're styling. We're styling. Oh my God. So this is the oil pan I changed out on one of my videos. And ever since I did it, I realized that it wasn't notched for an oil filter, so I couldn't change the filter because the header comes right here. So after we put the pan on and I put the new filter on, I realized I couldn't do an oil change after that. So this pan is going to get changed or modified.
Yeah, you would have to like notch it right here, and then, like right there, and then it would go like diagonal.
So we are definitely having this. We're going to go through this motor, pull it apart, obviously, and probably going to get some cleaning and machining because eventually it's going in my 39 Chevy. So I want to put a traditional small block back in the 39 Chevy with either a tunnel ram or possibly a supercharger, depending on situations.
Supercharger.
Yes, sir. And then it's going to have the 5-speed that came out of the Nova as a transmission. So that car is going to be really cool. I'm hoping to finish the body and get the car back together this year. So we'll see. We'll see. With the new garage, it gives me more motivation to work on some of my own stuff a little bit more. And that's the main reason why I built the garage, was so I could enjoy it. And I could have friends come over with our free picnic table that I got. Which is now a parts table.
Utility table.
Utility table. So when everybody, we're going to start doing, we're going to do like what should we do, Friday night, or should we do a...
Turn it into a bed when, you know...
Should I do it? Should I do Friday nights or Tuesday nights?
Crazy
Oh my God.
in the house. Come back here, lay down.
Yeah.
Where's the TV? Where's the TV?
I have one. I gotta I gotta get all that set up. So I don't have.
Put the TV like
I don't
right
have good-
there.
I have really bad internet right now in here.
A shop isn't a shop.
I have a low voltage setup where I can run the line in, so then I can have the modem or whatever, a router out here. And then that way I'll have Wi-Fi in here, really like good Wi-Fi. Then I can put the TV up, which I plan on putting up basically right there where that ladder is. And then we can watch TV. We'll just turn on Street Outlaws and watch Street Outlaws and Motor Trend. And
You could get like a 70-inch TV.
no, we have. If you're forgetting, Mommy won a TV. Remember, she got a free TV. She won it at her work. So that's the TV I'm stealing, and I'm putting it out here.
Okay, that's gonna be my TV. It's legit in the cat's room, next to my
Just remember,
room.
it's not really stealing.
Permanently borrowed.
It's borrowing.
It's permanently borrowing.
So it just took me all that time to find that wrench for that. You saw that, right? The whole time I'm sitting here, I'm trying to find the right wrench. Yeah.
Actually.
Siren chain covers 12.2. Nice.
Oh, sludge. Yeah, so that oil isn't even that old. Now you know why I'm taking this motor apart.
And it's like a green.
Well, that's because I haven't had it in there, but it's just. Boy, careful.
Really?
Well, this motor's old. It's been together a long time. So.
What's wrong with the four-wheeler? Anything wrong with the four-wheeler?
No.
Oh, it runs it.
Probably need a new battery.
Oh, I still. Boy. Bad Rick. Drippers all over.
Bad, Rick.
Making a mess. We'll soak that up.
I'm gonna destroy that rag.
This is an old rag anyways, I'm not worried about it.
True. Our makeshift, like,
That's my catch can.
makeshift
It's working.
catch can.
It's working good, actually.
Why is
Al
this
came here for moral support and coffee, as always.
I'm only a sidekick.
Yep, because he's
He-
only a sidekick.
Only a sidekick.
He has to have like 7 bags of like sugar in his coffee.
No.
Oh, stop
Like
it.
10.
Yeah, 10, not 10. You know what's funny though? When I ask, so when I order coffee for you, I usually tell them extra light, extra sweet, and those are the ones you always like.
Extra light, extra sweet.
Yeah, if you ask for extra light, extra sweet, it usually, I think it's like 5 creams and 5 sugars, and the cream has enough sugar in it where it compensates, so it always tastes better.
I know with this coffee, I put the straw and it stood up. So straight
That's
up.
how you know it's right?
That's how I know it's right.
I definitely got to repaint this block too. That's the other thing. I got to get this thing cleaned. I got to hot tank it.
What does hot tank mean?
It's a big pressure, like a big
Why is
washing.
this taking so long?
What?
Did you?
No, taking the oil pan off.
Because I'm doing it by hand because I don't have a 12-point socket.
Okay.
The brakes is the brakes are down, you should go, right?
No, the fuel pump.
Yes, the fuel pump,
Yeah, I haven't done it yet.
You haven't done it.
No. You can shut it off, bud. So we are now over a week to get this motor apart, but that's only because I haven't been able to work in here. So we got to a certain point. I didn't have the right sockets. I had to go grab 12-point sockets from my work, so I just waited. So finally today we finished pulling the motor apart. So show them the parts. Ooh. Ah. Oh. So this motor was built long before I bought the car back. And when I originally bought it back, it was good. But then I started noticing it was eating antifreeze. When it started eating antifreeze, I noticed it was in cylinder 4. And it was filling up the cylinder bad. So I pulled the cylinder heads and realized that the heads were cracked because they had so much CNC porting done that the epoxy that they had to fill where they had maybe blown through at one time was now cracking. They were just junk. They were old. So I had to put a set of heads on it. But what I noticed,
Tommy Bauer
I don't, it's fine.
texted you.
It's all good. It's all good. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
So what I noticed is number 4 cylinder, when I had the heads off, I checked the deck clearance on all the pistons, and I noticed 4 was a little deeper in the hole than any of the other pistons. That was the cylinder filling with coolant. And I had one issue when I went to go start the car where it hydrolocked. So my concern was something bent. Sometimes it's a rod, a wrist pin, or worse. So I put the heads on it ran good, but it always seemed like it was down on power. So after taking everything apart, I noticed a lot of the bearings are really, they're beat up. The rod bearings are beat up pretty bad. I don't know if you can zoom in. So that's number 4. Do you see all that right there? So that's from constantly pounding. Basically, when the piston has the explosion and it pushes the piston back down, that's basically what it's doing. It's pounding the bearing on the journal on the crank. So if you can imagine,
like hitting a hammer on that.
right,
pretty
so
much.
every time there's a lot of pressure, when this fires off, it pushes the piston back down. Well, when you see that in that area of the rod bearings, and all of them are like that, and some are worse than others, there's a problem. So the other thing I noticed on number 4 is, if you notice, my piston isn't really moving, and if I try to move it, it sticks. So it's real tight. Now these are floating wrist pins, which means they actually should move freely, and it should float back and forth, but it's not. So that's telling me my wrist pin is damaged or my piston is damaged, and I don't know which is the problem until I take it apart. I'm gonna bet the wrist pin is bent, and hopefully that's it, because that's an easier fix than having to replace one piston, but whatever, it is what it is. So that's number 4, so there is a problem there. So this motor was down on power. I'm pretty sure that's why. And also, there were just other things I didn't like. The geometry of the valve angle with the rockers based on the cam specs. The cam was kind of beat up. So if you notice, all these lifters are just, they have a lot of, you don't have to go so close, but I'm just, a lot of side wear on the lifters themselves and on the rollers. They're starting to show some wear. So that's something I don't like. The cam lobes are all kind of worn out. It's old. I mean, the motor's got a lot of miles on it, and it's a lot of hard miles. The good thing is the main bearings are in great shape. All the mains were clean, so that's good. The crank looks really clean. It is a very nice crank. So I'm not really 100% sure if it's a cast or forged. It's hard to tell. I don't see any casting lines, but it's also been smooth, like somebody smoothed the crank down. So it's really hard to tell. I don't really know. I'd have to run numbers on it. Actually, not sure. I'll have to run some part numbers. Oh, it is a Crower. So Crower 3480. You gotta look up those numbers. But overall, the crank looks clean. The block looks clean. It's got these cool little straps for reinforcement on the stock caps. So it is a 4-bolt, but it has the straps for the mains all through, which is a nice feature. It's just a way to reinforce stock caps and a stock block setup. But you can only go so far with this motor. It is what it is. So we're gonna... Why are you so close, dude? You don't have to be so close. You're like right on top of me. Killing me today. So basically, we're gonna box everything up, bag it, bring it down to the machine shop, have him look over everything and see what he thinks, and then we're gonna go from there. So I'm hoping to build the motor to where it's a really good, aggressive, more of a race motor than a street motor, because it's going to be going in the 39 Chevy. So we're putting a traditional small block with the 5-speed back in the 39. It's either going to have a tunnel ram style intake, or we're going to do some kind of a supercharger. So be prepared for that video down the road. Right now,
Supercharger.
yes sir. So right now I'm not really sure, so we're just going to rebuild everything and kind of go through the process of checking it first and going from there. So but stay tuned. So I'm trying to do more video, but it is what it is. I don't have time. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.